Welcome to the Behind the Drapes podcast. I'm your host, Expo Rich, and I'm here with Marilu Páez from EVG Group. And thank you so much for being here with me today, because I thought it was important to have you on this platform, because it's oftentimes I'm just speaking to the people that are building shows and not often to the people that are supporting the shows in terms of finance and how the money comes about is an important piece that's not often spoken about. And so, yeah, I thought it would be a great addition to have you come on and tell us a little bit about EVG.
Good. First of all, thank you for having me. Thanks for the invitation, and hi to your audience. EVG stands for Events Venture Group, and we call it a brain trust. It's a group of veterans like you know, in the industry, who have a lot of have been the innovators in the space, top operators, and serial entrepreneurs. So we have a good mix of them all in the almost 50 members that we have right now. But the important call out is that they are all individuals who are looking to give back to the new generations, and that's what the mission of EVG is about. Is basically shaping the next generation of the bold entrepreneurs who are creating the new life experiences, right, in the industry. And you're right. I guess one thing that we have learned from our first year of operations is that a lot of these new entrepreneurs, they have a lot of conviction behind their ideas, but they actually, where they need more guidance and support is in not only in the storytelling, but in the fabrication of the numbers to have to make a compelling event that eventually will become sustainable, right? And that's exactly where we come in.
Right. And what I find is one of the most unique things is specifically that it's not just funding, it's the holistic support that you give because of the members and because of the experience that's brought together. Because it's, you could go to, an investment bank or some private equity firm and get funding, and, obviously they would take equity, but then I would say it's more of just, finances and expectations rather than support, so much so the way when you're getting someone who's investing in your event who actually has done it before.
Exactly. So I like to say that we syndicate expertise and capital.
I like that.
And the model that we have, we're not an accelerator, we are not a venture studio. So we don't take control of anything, right? So we basically propel them forward with the expertise that they need, because all of the members have been through, the failures, the successes, the experiences, and honestly, what I have been attested from the ones that we have invested in, what we call the portfolio companies, is that every time that they connect with the founders, they really give it all. You know, it's it's a master class on events that is super valuable for the founders, and they say wow, I never thought I could get so much value, right? So really what we give, and we also have there's a lot of early stage that are not ready to raise capital. And we also kind of mentor them or get them into this stage so they can be ready to get capital whenever they believe they need so, right? And so I would say in general terms, our target or our customer persona, if you like to call it that way, some people don't recognize themselves as the event entrepreneurs, right? They say, I have a community, I'm creating events, but I'm not even from the events industry. And that's very common. I would say 70% of the people in events, they don't really come from the industry. There's one or two corporate breakouts, but they are the least common. But all these people that come, they say hey, help me. I have an idea of my valuation. I have an idea of what can I do. And what we do is we actually connect them with the right members, with the right expertise that they need. And the most important thing that set us apart from any other group, I would say, I don't like saying that we're in venture, but we definitely, our stage is from pre-launch, when you have an idea, all the way to 3 years in. I would say more than that, you're in a completely different stage, mid-stage. But for us, that's exactly when you're making 300 to 500,000 in revenue. That's the sweet spot for us.
So as one of the things I always like to talk with people about is their origin and how they even came into this space, and being that you're not an organizer or that side of it. How did you originally connect with the events industry?
That's very interesting. I would say live would be the easiest way to put it. I met with Marco Ghiberti via a paddle connection in Miami. I play paddle, so it was very the right moment, I would say, for me to start in this industry. I'm not born and raised in this one, but after almost 2 years of launching EVG, like in May of 2024, it has been an exceptional journey for me, working with along with all these people. And I think the most important thing to say is that everything in EVG is member driven.
Yeah.
Right. So there's not an army of analysts in the back, and all the members are screening projects, vetting them, funding them, and advising them.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that's one of the biggest differences. And for me, it's kind of applying the traditional tech venture capital into events, which is nothing like it, because honestly, in terms of timings, the return of our investment, particularly for this very niche asset class, as I call it, is way faster, and the ideal event do not have to raise again as you do in tech. You have different series.
Right.
Here for events, a good event is like you actually, if you gather the right advisors on your corner at the right time, you will find a way to make a sustainable event, which is ultimately our goal in this ecosystem. It's just like strengthening the ecosystem of events by having more sustainable and durable events, and that's super important for us.
Right, and having those people that have already done the hard work in the beginning of their career, they're the ones advising. So now, if someone is young, you can help curate them and guide them into putting structure together faster.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like it. One of my mentors calls it, we paid the dummy tax. So.
That's exactly it. Yeah, no, and honestly, what I've seen a lot is, I don't know if it's like exclusive from this industry and maybe happens with more other institutional experiences, but here we are not an institution, right? We are individuals who are willing to invest in early stage, right? So for us, for me, that I have been streamlining the whole process, it's super important to give the founder the privilege of identifying, hey, who in the membership is doing something that is important for you, that you want an additional advisor. So they have the hand, to decide to pick who from the membership shouldn't be there. That's also something that we have no conflict of interest, because some of our people also are very active in the industry. So we try to give the founder all the privilege or the autonomy and ultimately what we want is for them to see them thrive, right, in the industry. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And one thing that I think it's pretty unique about our industry is there's way more collaboration than competition. Like you look at an event like this, like CISO, and there's these people that may have competing shows, but they get in this room together and they talk and they share and they're very supportive. So and same thing on the contractor side. We may compete for business, but like once the business is won, we all support each other. So this industry is very, very supportive. So it only goes to make sense that the mentors and the people who have graduated already are now helping this young upcoming class of venture of entrepreneurs. So.
And my experience in the industry has been exactly the same. They're and we in particular with these 50 people in the membership of EVG are very friendly. They've known each other for years. They have done things 30 years ago, and they are really adding value, for them it's giving capital and spotting the right opportunities. But for them it's really important to keep adding value and sharing what they know, the knowledge that they have been gathering for the past 20 plus years. Yeah.
So what does 2026, actually even 2027 look like for EVG? Like what are some of the big things that you're excited about for the next couple of years?
I'm super excited about the organic growth of the membership on the side of the investors, let's put it that way, because that means a lot of people are interested in they all know that we're not passive investors, so these people that join, they say hey, this sounds interesting and I wanna be part of this. And on the founder side right now for us in 2026 is the year of the founder for EVG. We have been building an amazing membership, and now what we're trying to do is whenever create a community and give value to the community via this membership or via even the sponsors that we have. For example, in 3 weeks from now, Las Vegas is gonna is one of our sponsors and is gonna demystify how to negotiate with hotels. Right? That is something that maybe for obviously all this all the members, they have done it for years, but for the newbies, and you believe there are a lot of things that you don't know, and that's exactly what EVG is for, right? What you don't know. So for me, super excited about the founders, and the path, and for them to know that there's an institution that wants to help them. Right, and that are not taking 40% of their ownership or their control or anything. We just want to be there and have these like advisors on their corner. And we normally, I would say, what we have seen in this early stage is that the valuations is always something important and something tricky for them, for the founders that don't really know where they're standing, and we help them assess that part too.
That's always sensitive, you know. When someone builds a baby, I always think it's worth more than
But then again, we have seen a lot. Like on top of whatever comes to EVG, every member has their own like opportunities to invest, right? So we have a good compass, if you want to put it that way, on where this type of event with this like type of market in the current stage should be valued, or what's the potential. Right. So I think that's very exciting for me in terms of content, community, value, bringing together more founders so that you can share, I would say, pains, best practices.
It's great that you're creating that education component for new founders, because, you know, there's pay to play everywhere, you know, events, you know, they can go to conferences and things and learn, but, you know, they don't always have the time or even, you know that it exists. So if they're in this community and you're saying, look, we're going to teach you also these other skills that are necessary for the success of your event, that's huge.
That is huge. I think, I mean, up until, and sometimes this, I would say, as I call it, like this asset class is so often like overlooked, you know, like it's very niche, only like people from the industry knows about it. But whenever you, I mean, think about it, from wellness to fitness to finance, any part of the industry needs events, or just convening for deal flow, for making new acquaintances, you know. So it's a very nice, and if we do it right, the compounding effect that it has is really interesting. And that was one of my most shocking things, I would say. So for 2027, I would say the biggest thing will also be our portfolio, right? Right now, we're about to close our 6th syndication in 16, 17 months. But I believe with 2026 and 2027, we will be getting maybe a portfolio of 15, 20 portfolio companies. That will be interesting for also, I'm very excited about they themselves as founders, how they can like share and grow together, right? I think that's something that will be very enriching for us to see.
So one last question. You're here at CISO. You know, we're in the beautiful Kiawah Island here in South Carolina. It's how does coming to CISO bring value for you and EVG?
I think CISO is we see CISO as a partner. It's a very important strategic partner for EVG. We share a few members, you know, and the most important thing, CISO also has a program for that we believe is the next step for the founders that we start growing, you know, like, so I think their target is more like 10 million revenue above, right? So we believe we're becoming kind of a feeder for associations like this one, you know, and as I said at the beginning, our ultimate goal is to grow the ecosystem of, you know, like vendors that are surround events, right? So here in CISO, this is basically one of my big, like, hey, how do you know what we're doing? Because eventually the events that we are making sustainable and they're going to be your members, or they're going to be like your clients, you know, as a contractor. So for us and we have a lot of sponsors here. We have Las Vegas, we have Yegi, we have a lot of our sponsors, T3, and it's really important for us to just like be and let them know that we are here to grow events that eventually will turn out to be important for you guys.
Absolutely.
So I think that's the most important part.
Well, thank you so much for spending this time with me.
And, thank you, Rich, for inviting me.
Please enjoy the rest of this conference.
You too.
All right.
Nice to meet you. Thank you, everybody.